Smackdown Live came to this week from Ontario, California. We kicked things off with the Smackdown Live general manager, Daniel Bryan. This is something that I usually criticise Raw for doing when they start with Stephanie McMahon. This case, I'm not going to do that for SmackDown, simply because two reasons. One, they don't usually do this. It's not something they always do. They normally start with talent, cutting promos, straight up with matches. And two, the situation warranted this. The storyline needed Daniel Bryan to be there. So it wasn't a bad start for having Daniel Bryan come out. And obviously, we love Daniel Bryan and we hate Stephanie McMahon. So Daniel Bryan comes down to the ring and obviously he makes it quite clear what he's doing there straight away, in that it's all about the Women's Championship and what's going to happen. As soon as Naomi comes out and she's not in a ring gear, she's wearing the knee brace, makes it pretty obvious she's going to be relinquishing the title. She gets in the ring. Daniel Bryan mentions the time he went through with the Authority, winning at WrestleMania 30 and then having to give up the title himself, how hard it was. Naomi gets the mic. Now, again, I've said this before, I just don't feel, when I'm watching Naomi, I don't believe her, and I don't think this is a work. I think she's actually got a bit of an injury, simply because of the match after, and how quickly they've kind of rushed into things going forward. And if it's not a work, I didn't feel that much emotion from her. We obviously got a little bit of tears, a little bit of watery eyes, but it felt fake, it felt put on, and obviously don't want that to feel like, she made it feel like a work. So if it's real, for me, she made it feel like a work. And that shouldn't really happen. Now, the crowd, they were all chanting, "You deserve it." In my opinion, that's an overused chant these days. They chant it every single time someone wins a title, and I don't think someone deserves a title for experience. The crowd seem to think that if you've been in the WWE 7, 8, 9 years, you deserve a title. You've been here long enough. You deserve one. Not necessarily the case for me. And I feel like Naomi still needs to build herself, so having to relinquish the title might do her good in the long run. If she's back for WrestleMania, or a little bit before, she can build a character if she stays on TV, and going into WrestleMania, if she gets a title shot again, she can win it again, and hopefully there'll be a bit of a better character build for me. Anyway, she relinquishes the title. Alexa Bliss comes down to the ring, finds the whole thing hilarious, claims to Daniel Bryan the only way to resolve this situation is to give the title back to her. Daniel Bryan says, nah, not going to happen, and he makes a match. Now, this match, for me, made no sense. He brings out Becky Lynch. Now, Becky Lynch lost last week to Mickie James. Not only that, she just had a huge feud with Alexa Bliss for the title. Come out of that losing. Don't know why she was deserving of this match, or why she needed to be in this match. I have to understand the hard situation, what they were in, because when he said, I've got someone in mind for a match, I had no idea who it was. I didn't think it was Becky or Mickie, because they're currently in a feud. That feud didn't feel like it ended last week. Obviously, Nikki and Natalya are in a feud. Didn't feel like there was many options for them, so I get that. But it made more sense if it had been triple threat: Becky, Mickie, and Alexa Bliss, because obviously in the feud between Becky and Mickie, Mickie's won one, Becky's won one, so they're kind of even. So I don't know why Becky got the upper hand on putting this match. Now, the match itself was poor. It was only 5 minutes long. The win was a roll up. It was a bit confusing toward the end, with Alexa hanging onto the apron, and then I don't know if it was an eye poke or a throat jab, but it felt heelish. But then again, when looking back, it weren't. It was a throat jab, which I don't know if you're not allowed to do that or not. But anyway, she gets a roll up pin. Seemed very messy. Gets the title after 5 minutes. Didn't feel like a title match at all. Mickie James comes out, attacks Becky Lynch to remind us that feud is still going. And now moving forward, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what the rivalry is going to be. And the road to WrestleMania now for SmackDown Women's title looks a bit blank and messy. And I'm hoping they're going to save that next week. But we'll have to see. We then got a tag team match to continue the narrative with American Alpha and the Usos. The match itself was American Alpha taking on Breezango, getting the win in fairly quick time. Didn't even hit their finisher. It was more of a top rope bulldog. It was pretty good, pretty damn cool. It seems like it would end a match. Gets the pin on Fandango, celebrating. Then Usos come out from the crowd and cut an amazing promo. Don't know where that came from, but hell, the Usos can talk on the mic. Damn, they were on fire, and it didn't feel at any point awkward. It didn't feel like they were slowing down at any point. Didn't feel like they were struggling to remember their lines. They brought it on that microphone last night. I was watching them and I was like, shit, these guys are better than Enzo and Cass. damn. And they look awesome. They're great heels. The way they were talking, they sounded like heels. They looked like heels. They were stood in the crowd, didn't come in the ring area, teased going for a fight, and then were like, nah, not tonight. Kind of introduced the American Alpha as the soon to be ex tag team champions. I like this feud, and I'm looking forward to this match. And I kind of want the Usos to win. Maybe that makes them bad heels, but I kind of want them to win. I think they'd be good with the titles. Didn't like them before. Now I absolutely love them, and especially after that promo, I thought it was fantastic. So I cannot wait to see where they go with this and what the Usos can do in a match. And if they win, what they can do with the titles. Next up, it was a Falls Count Anywhere match. Nikki Bella versus Natalya. This feud's been going for a long, long time. Really, it's starting possibly danger into the stagnant zone, but it's not at the moment. Hopefully, this match has ended that, and it was a great match to. If it did, it was a great match to end it on. Started, they used the gimmick really, really well. They were straight into the audience, straight onto the outside, kind of teasing the announcers table with an Alabama Slammer on there into the crowd, teasing a suplex kind of onto the concrete. Nikki Bella getting the kind of the disaster kick from the barricade. All fantastic spots. Going to the back. Nikki Bella gets turned into Maurice. Again, like from Elimination Chamber, teasing the rumoured match at WrestleMania. Comes back into the arena, and then they pretty much fully capitalise on the rumour. Maurice comes out with a steel pole, beats the hell out of Nikki Bella. Miz comes running down, grabs Maurice, drags her out of the way. At this point, I was thinking, surely John would come down at this point, because Nikki Bella gets beat up a lot, and John never comes to the rescue. He didn't this time either. He just let it happen. Great boyfriend there. Natalya gets the win, capitalises on this, and gets the pin. Now, obviously, it was a no DQ match, but the win obviously was not fair, essentially. So I don't know if the feud will continue, but obviously, it's making it pretty obvious that the feud going forward is Nikki and Cena versus Miz and Maurice, made much more clear with the main event. So we'll see where it goes. But yeah, Natalya picking up the win, supposedly in that feud, but we'll see. And we've kind of clearly got a vision of where they're going with Nikki and Maurice. So we'll see. We then ended the show with the much anticipated Battle Royale. Obviously, last week, Randy Orton declaring himself that he wasn't facing Bray at WrestleMania as long as Bray was the master and he was the servant. So this week we had a Battle Royale to determine who was the number one contender and going to be facing Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. Guys, this match was terrific. I really enjoyed this match. It was the storytelling in this one match was probably better than the Royal Rumble. Every single element felt needed. Even Mojo Rawley didn't feel out of place. You obviously love seeing Mojo Rawley feel sorry for him. Now he's not got his bro, his hype bro with him. He was obviously the first eliminated. We all expected that, but he still felt needed. He still felt like he deserved to be there, even though he doesn't deserve to be there. But it was nice to see him in the match. And it continued all the storylines it needed to continue without all these guys having separate segments for themselves, like Baron and Dean, Ziggler and Cruz, and Kalisto still getting involved in that. Didn't feel like Kalisto was being thrown in for no reason. It felt like he might as well be there. And like I said, obviously these guys didn't get their own segments. It felt like they put all the segments in this match, and every part of this match, right from the get-go, felt needed, never felt stagnant, and felt stale. It felt like all the elements that needed to be there were there. We had Cruz eliminate. First we had Ziggler eliminating Kalisto, then Cruz eliminating Ziggler, and Ziggler coming back with a steel chair, attacking Kalisto, distracting Cruz on the ropes with Baron Corbin getting the elimination on Cruz, and then we had Cruz going after Ziggler on the outside. Continued that narrative perfectly. We had the continued story of Dean and Baron Corbin, with again Dean getting the better of Baron Corbin as he did in the Elimination Chamber and eliminating Corbin, and then Corbin hitting the end of days on the outside to Dean before leaving the arena. Again, continue that narrative perfectly. We've got the setup again of Cena and Miz, with Miz going for his Daniel Bryan-esque drop kicks in the corner, and then the kicks on Cena. The last one run up. Cena ducks, eliminates the Miz. It seemed like a regular elimination. Miz isn't happy about this, gets back in the ring, and eliminates John Cena, and then bolts. Perfect. We knew it was coming, and I think they've set up this match very well. And I know it's a shame. I think we know that Cena's going to be doing other things after WrestleMania, therefore it's fine for Cena to be in that match at WrestleMania. But Miz, it's a bit of a shame that he's not in the title picture at WrestleMania. But that being said, I think these four, Nikki and Cena versus Miz and Maurice, are going to surprise everyone. I think that match could be very good with the talents involved. We'll see what they do. But I'm actually weirdly looking forward to that match. But anyway, the match continued. We're down to Luke Harper, AJ Styles, and Dean Ambrose. Was that it? Yeah, those three. Kind of back and forth, all on the apron. Dean Ambrose gets eliminated next at the hands of AJ Styles, I believe, and then we have AJ Styles and Luke Harper. Now, we all kind of believed Luke Harper was going to get this win and go into the Wyatt family feud for WrestleMania. The kind of singles match, so to speak, these guys put on was great. It was another kind of 4 or 5 minutes, just these two going at it on the apron all the time, making it really tense. But like any point, any of them could fall off. Even though we thought Harper was going to win, it made it feel like he might not. And then right at the end, they're fighting on the apron and they both tumble off. Now, it was pretty obvious to me, and surely everyone else, that AJ Styles hit the ground first. Fairly obvious. And by fairly obvious, I mean AJ Styles hit the ground first. There's no doubt about it. Apparently, there were no referees in sight, in line of view to see this. Surely at a battle royal, you'd have referees on either side, and especially in the corner where they're fighting on the apron. But they didn't. For some reason, the refs thought, they're not going to fall. Let's not stand on there. Let's all four of us stand at the other side. So if they do fall, we can't see shit. Oh well. They both fall off. There's the whole kind of bloody Royal Rumble 2005 confusion of who landed first. They both get in the ring. They both try and declare themselves the winner. Daniel Bryan comes down and says, "This is enough. It's a tie. We're going to deal with this next week." And he pretty much makes a match next week. He confirmed that on Talking Smack. AJ Styles versus Luke Harper. The winner goes to WrestleMania to face Bray. I love this. They didn't finalise it straight away. Again, like SmackDown always do, they're setting up next week. Again, which Raw failed to do. The set up match next week, an exciting match for next week. It's going to be very fun to see. I'm assuming it's going to be the main event. What Luke Harper can bring to a match against one of the best wrestlers in the world in the main event of SmackDown, and it'll kind of be his chance to prove himself. Because I think he's going to win. It'll be his chance to prove to everyone, I definitely deserve to be here, and I'm going to fit right in at the main event of WrestleMania, and I think he will. I really do. But yeah, that was SmackDown. That was SmackDown came to a close there. Guys' show was the SmackDown show was a really good show actually. Aside from the women's championship stuff, which felt messy and pushed and rushed, the show itself was a terrific show again from SmackDown Live. Like I said, it's down, so it wasn't as good as it has been, but it was still a lot better than Raw. And SmackDown again proving that they're the #1 show in the Raw SmackDown rivalry. Now, a lot of people are saying that the reason Raw's not as good is because of the 3 hour gap they've got to fill. However, my argument to that is this week, if you take out the ads, they've only got about 45 to 50 minutes more, if that. And I felt like SmackDown this week could have had that 50 minutes more. They could have had segments between Dolph and Crews. They could have had a segment between Corbin and Ziggler. They could have extended the women's match. They could have extended the tag match. They could have had a brawl after the tag match. There were so many elements they could have had that still felt needed, and they'd have probably filled 3 hours with a less roster. So I don't necessarily think that's where the problem lies. Obviously, it doesn't help for Raw. It's obviously a lot harder to fill that, but from that evidence, it doesn't feel like that's a viable excuse anymore. But it is what it is. Guys, thanks as always for watching. Follow me on Twitter at run_the_ropes. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave your thoughts in the comment section, whether you agree or disagree with anything I've said. And then don't forget to check back next week for more Run the Ropes.